wrestle, they have this thing. It's cramp juice. It's just shit ton of salt and Gatorade powder and water.
Really, and that just helps.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. We're playing. All right, I'm recording this, so I'll put this on my YouTube so you can have it as well.
Okay.
So we're playing Monkey with Genji, Sojourn. Okay, yeah, against this. What's the like? Do you guys remember like what you wanted to do with this? Like Monkey comp?
Yeah, it's the same thing Wizard did to us yesterday. We just fucking rotated around them and jumped on their supports.
Okay. Cool. All right. All right. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll turn it up.
Carried on the wind.
All right, I want to see like how you guys approach the fight. Okay, you just want to like do this. Are you trying to like do it so you don't have to use jump to get in?
No, Wizard did this to us yesterday, and like it fucking worked, so we did it.
Okay, I guess I just went ready for it. So like I think the main reason you guys won that, like you guys killed them right there, is that they just weren't like tracking your rotate. I mean, like they knew you were in this area, but like first off, you wasted a minute doing that. And I mean, I think it's okay to like do a kind of rotate like that. But when I look at like the characters you guys playing, every single character can like easily access the high ground quickly. Like wall climb, TP, jump, slide, wall ride. So like I feel like maybe it might have been a little redundant to go all the way around up here like that, all the way around like this.
We could have just rotated around statue.
I mean, you could have easily just rotated around statue and went through here. Or you could have like went up from statue up, because everyone could have gotten up here. Like you could have jumped and then Murph could have TP'd to you, Genji could have dashed, Sojourn could have slid. And you ended up going all the way around and wasting about a minute. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you won the fight, so it doesn't matter. But say they're like tracking your rotates. So like say they're starting like, say they start, here, let me go a different color. So they start like right here and you guys are rotating all the way up here. So they're staying right here, and then you rotate up here, and now they're like, okay, let's split, let's go this way. So instead they'll go like probably either, I mean, right here is probably bad. I would say like right here, probably good rotate. So they would go from here to here and just kind of like mirror the area, so you still have to cover more distance. And if you drop, no matter what, you're gonna have to jump into them. So if they rotated correctly instead of going like all the way around here, you probably would have like been forced to use a bunch of abilities no matter what to jump in, and it would have been a brawl fight. So what I probably would say that you should do is, if you're gonna do that long rotate, like have everyone go through here, and then like you and everyone except for Sojourn can go this way, and Sojourn can stay up here. And what's gonna happen is, no matter which way they go, the Sojourn's gonna be like kind of sort of uncontested. So like like their Sojourn can still shoot at her, but what's gonna happen is you're gonna like pinch them. So you drop and you go on them this way. Sojourn's, they're mostly going to look at you guys. Sojourn's going to shoot them from behind, and you're going to like pinch them like this. But I mean, if you all go around, they're just going to continually rotate away from you, and they're going to continue to like force you to use cooldowns to get to you. And most of the time, you're not going to be able to separate the Orisa like that, because she's just going to stay with her team and just keep rotating. So I'd probably say, like, try to like do a split rotate, like where you put one person right here, maybe someone stays right here, maybe like if you're playing like Tracer instead of Genji, Tracer can play up here and then like blink in when you go in. But most of the time they're just gonna like rotate back and just kind of like mirror the point instead of going all the way back here. Like this was a bad rotate, I think. Just keep in mind of like, sure, you can rotate just to rotate, but like make sure that your rotation is like, you're thinking about where they would rotate in like a counter to it. Like where would they go to counter this, and like how do we stop that? Like remember F9. Yeah, they swapped to Monkey. Okay. Oh, Reaper. They really want to deal with you.
Yeah. I think I should have got off monkey right here.
Okay.
It's go time.
So something you can do. Oop, what did I just do? Something you can do is like, first off, like if they're giving you space like cart progress, if you're gonna play this like kind of like slow and wait to dive in, like just don't you don't have to dive in right away. Like I think you might have gotten a little, you might have been a little bit too trigger happy with this dive. Not this one. This is the first one. I'll show you. So you see the sojourn right there. What's happening is that this is like one of those cases where you're going in, right? You're going on a character, but you're like making it harder for your team to help you. So if you jump in and bubble, like you have that bubble to help you. But what's going to happen is like, you see how you like position yourself, like based on where their team is. Like they have 3 guys right here and 1 guy right here. They could easily just all go on you and probably kill you. Like, cause you use jump like that. What I'd probably say is wait for the cart, like let them, because they're playing like the Reaper, they're playing a little bit like less divey. They're playing to counter your dive. So you can like wait for the cart to get up to like right here, and the supports can use the cart, and then you can like, if the Reaper's playing all the way up here, you can easily just jump into like their sojourn when she backs up here, and you can bubble to disconnect them, and then what's gonna happen is you're gonna do the same thing you're doing right now, where the bubble is disconnecting, like this is the bubble, it's disconnecting like the sojourn and the Kiriko right over here, and they're over here, but it's also giving your team like the space and like making it less ground for them to cover. So if the cart's right here, they'll be right here, so they can easily help you. But if you jump in like that when they're right there, like you see how they're right, see how Murph is right here, and like Parker's right here, she's gonna have to either TP to get to you and maybe die, or just let you die. In most cases. But what happens is, I mean, the Reaper Boop does a really good job at peeling for you, with the Boop, and I mean, you kind of just lucky to get out there.
Now.
Yeah.
Parker uses this very, I would say, like battle. I mean, he gets a kill because I don't know why they were peeking that.
Their sojourn was god awful at the game.
I don't know why he was peeking that.
Nah, they used their jump to like engage.
Okay, so they use this. And counter. Yeah, Murph really needs to work on those.
But I think some of our like Kiriko rush counters are interesting. Like I feel like we could just as easily back out and not use them, but not for me.
I mean, I would probably say because of like, you just have to look at like, it depends on the map geometry and like how the Kiriko ult is used. You see how it's used like this where it ends right there? You can very easily speed out of that. And all you have to do is literally just wait like 5-6 seconds and then go in with your own rush. Because Murph has this philosophy where like if she sees their rush, she automatically has to use hers no matter what the situation. It's kind of just like one of those like bad muscle memory things. So she uses it like that, and you like, this is another rush where you get no value. And she has to work on that because consistently, like through maps, you're getting no value out of rush because of the placement and the timing. So I think you had a good idea of just like leaving and just waiting like 6 seconds. And even if there's like 2 seconds left on theirs, you can just use yours and get 6 seconds more on it. But other than that, I mean, that was pretty, like, you guys are having a little scrappy play. Use this. Ooh, you lose that, yeah. Where's some Reaper that you guys don't know him? Let's see it. You kind of just get unlucky there. I'd probably say, in most cases, if the Genji's chasing one person, you don't have to help him. I mean, there's not a guarantee that you'd help them with this, but if you were ulting over here, like you might have been able to push him away. Like if the Genji's going after a Lucio by himself, like you don't need to help him. Like if he's blading, he's gonna probably kill him unless he has beat. But most likely, you're probably gonna boop him away from the blade, and it's gonna hurt the Genji. So So in that case, when he's going after someone like that, just kind of like play on point and help with the dive. And most likely you're gonna probably kill maybe Kiriko here, and then you can ult on the Reaper when he ults, and you might win this fight here. So just be careful on like when you use your ultimate, like don't just use it just to like, you know, tunnel vision and go forward and try to get kills. Like make sure you're using it, like you can use it for like peel as well for your team. Okay. At this point, I probably would have swapped.
Yeah.
I probably would have swapped to either. Probably one that works here is probably Orisa, or
Ram.
Rhine. I mean, probably
We
Orisa
ran
more.
Ram. Yeah, we ran Ram after this.
Yeah.
This is what I switched to.
Just because like there's not really a like consistently diveable target here because they have the Reaper. They're playing for your dive.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, you can play, like for that long game. If they're trying to play defensively, you can play like kind of defensively yourself, where you're playing Orisa and you're kind of just like booping them away when they come in, and it's gonna make room for your DPS. Like trust me, like these guys, like they have a Reaper, like their Reaper's not gonna do shit against you if he's trying to get in against an Orisa. But I think you guys kind of didn't. Yeah, you had to like, notice that maybe like maybe it's not working to get like an early change. I mean, this is a pretty good rotate, I think.
This ends now.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
That's kind of on him. It's not really on you.
She just survived, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's Kiriko. And it's just because they have, like, every single character on their team has a movement ability to get away from you when you die.
This just pisses me off watching.
I mean, they're like, you're still kind of winning this a little bit.
We got spade.
Yeah, you definitely win this. I mean, you probably could have like maybe played a little bit more passive there, so you didn't have to use ult. But ooh. Okay. And that, I mean, you're doing a good job dancing through your bubble, so you're taking less damage. You're getting enough healing to where you can kind of leave before the Reaper kills you.
Enemy spotted.
I'm gonna use a lot of ults here.
It's go time.
Pay for ult again. They all just have abilities.
You guys, the good thing is that you both trade 3 ults. I mean, you don't waste. You lose the fight, but at least you don't like get a ult disadvantage.
Trade on a lost fight.
Yeah. I mean, most cases I probably play for a dry fight here if you're tracking that they have 4 ults. I would just say like they have beat, they have rush. You know, we're trying to get value out of Blade. What?
They just used it. They don't have rush.
No, I mean I'm saying this is the fight prior. So the fight prior, say there's like 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. They're gonna have all 4 of these ults. So I would say, and you're gonna have 3 yourself if you're tracking correctly. So I would say like we know that they're gonna save beat for one of the DPS ults. So maybe we can use Blade this fight and get beat out and maybe get, you know, another ult out, and then we can go in next fight with Sojourn ult. His Blade is hit or miss. Sojourn ult, if the guy's good, you're mostly always gonna get a kill. Like Blades can be countered pretty like easily, like quote unquote. If you guys don't know how to counter, he's pretty easy to counter. But like Sojourn ult is all dependent on whether or not they hit the shot. So it's like it's vastly dependent on him. So like if you use that to get beat out, you can go next with Sojourn ult. You can have your own ult. You can have Rush going with that. Just make sure that like, yeah, you want to like maybe you can use the resource like that where you want to go like we only have a minute left, so maybe we want to get an ult advantage.
Disrupting. Kakaya.
I think you got a little bit too cute with the rotation. I don't think that. I think that kind of like hindered you guys a second, because what happens is like the path that you guys have to get to them is much longer if you go that way, and especially since they have these movement ability characters, like you could easily just kind of like walk up here, you can jump on this to get them off high ground. And then they're going to be backing out like this, and then Monkey's over here, so maybe Parker can get a kill from like up here or down here, and you can kind of like just like push them away. But what happens is when you go this way around, you're gonna like you're making it harder for you to jump, and that's what you don't want. That's what they want to do. They want to like cover the lead. They want to make you cover the most distance possible, so your team can't help you as much. So if you go this way, you have to jump all this area to get to where they are, rather than just like right here.
Yeah.
So if we see it from like above, they intentionally back up, at least like the sports do, and you have to cover all that distance, and then Fox is killed, and you do another jump, and you're in their back line, and you get killed. So.
Seconds remaining.
Try it again. Or, oh wait, we're on Ram.
You're on Ram now, okay. So you're on Ram
We
with
did the
Reaper.
same thing again, which wasn't that good.
Okay, you do the same thing again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're playing Ram with Reaper, so you have a lot of like sustain on point. So I wouldn't worry about having to rotate like that. Like easily, you can just like with Ram, you don't want to go on long rotates. Like easily, you can go up shield for a couple seconds and then just Nemesis into their Lucio. But when you do that, like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, Parker thought we were doing the same thing, so he just gets fucked.
Yeah, Parker nearly needs to. Parker seems like he's not paying attention a lot in these fights. Both DPS do. A lot of the last VOD I just did yesterday or whatever it was, day before, like, most of the fights you guys lost were either him dying early from being caught out or him dying early from being caught out. So, I mean, you guys have, like, the DPS really have to work on that. But here, I'll show you what you should, like, what you can see and do instead. So, when you walk up like this, and you see that the Monkey is up there with the Genji, what you can do is they're going to dive you no matter what, so might as well make it hard for them. If you see that, you can call for a speed onto this, and just go onto them and use Nemesis. And what's going to happen is they're going to have to jump into you. And either way, you're going to be so far ahead of them that they're going to like not be there. So you can kill these guys first and then go after them after. Because no matter what, they're going to try to jump on you. So might as well make it harder for them, you know? But instead, Parker is there, and then he just goes over here. So I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, he just doesn't even look. So that's on him.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, you're getting primals. Nothing that you can really do. You get C9'd, yeah. I think the rotate was part of it as well.
Join. Is that alright if I sit in? Okay.
Yeah.
0-1.
By square by.
Switching sides.
So I noticed throughout this first half of the map, Murph, that you're doing a lot of like unnecessary rotations, just for the sake of rotating, just for the sake of trying to like get cute with the rotation and like doing something different.
Oh, I see. I see.
Like so, 2 fights in a row, like the last 2 fights. If you can see, you can see my screen. You guys go around here, and it like makes it worse for you guys to fight this, because they're not playing like Anna. Like if they were playing Anna or something like that, where they're playing back here, like this would be a fine rotate. Because they're playing like characters up here on the high grounds, Like you're just making it harder to get to them because you're gonna be up here, how far away they are, as opposed to like right here if the cart was right here. So you're kind of just making it harder for yourself.
Okay. That one rotation was though really good, right? That
The first one, I think it was a good concept. So I'll go over it quickly. So you guys go all the way around here, and you end up wasting a minute. What I'll say is that since you have like 5 characters that can easily have like really good movement abilities, instead of going all the way around up here and wasting like 15-20 seconds, if you want to do that, just like go through here. Like you can easily just speed through here and no one will kill you.
Oh, I see.
And then go all the way up here. And then what you want to do is what's going to happen is if they rotate well, like at first they rotate like back here towards statue, which is terrible. If they saw that you were doing that, they would rotate like right here behind this police car, and it would make it easier for them to like see where you're going, and it would also make it harder for the monkey to like sneak up on them technically. Like he would have to jump this length to get to you or walk and take a bunch of damage. So what happens instead is you guys go up here around, and Sojourn stays right here, and you guys like pinch them instead of having all 5. But I mean, it was a good concept of a route. I thought it was cool, but you might have you took a little bit too much time off the clock, like doing that. I think by the time you touched point or got a kill, it was like 3 minutes left. So I mean, if you lost the fight, if they rotated well and you lost the fight, that'd be like a minute and a half gone from nothing. So, but yes, that was a good concept of a rotate. Okay, Reaper, Ram. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Okay, so Edge. Where are you? You're right here.
Right there.
Okay, I'll probably say play right here. You're fine playing on this side of statue. The good thing about Ramatra is that you can deal with them no matter which way they go. So like, say you're playing right here or like right here. No matter which way they go, you can deal with them. If they go this way, you can shield and Nemesis. If they go this way, you can just shield that, right? And force them to come in, and then you can Nemesis. If you play out here, especially if they're running Monkey, they're going to dive this way. You have to cover ground now to get back. So, like, either way, if you're playing right here, you can kind of deal with that. And if they dive, you can just, like, you know, run into their Lucio or something with Nemesis and have your supports deal with the Monkey. And as well, you're playing a Reaper comp, so you kind of want to get in their face. Like, either way. So you, like, play right here, Reaper plays, like, right here. Either way, you guys can just get in their face.
Yeah.
Just be aware that the nade doesn't go through bubble. Go through shields. I mess that up all the time as well. Nice. Counter the dive.
That was a bad dive on their part.
Yeah, they kind of fed a little bit. I'd say you guys were kind of panicking there. You were kind of backing up. I mean, I know you were low, but I know that you had Suzu because I saw you used it late in the fight. So like, if they're pushing up like that and you have Nemesis, just run into them. Like, let the Monkey give space for his Kiriko and Genji. Just like run into them and try to like disrupt that dive. Because the worst thing that Monkey can do against Ramatra is just like stand in the middle with his bubble and just like do nothing because Ramatra's pummel goes through shields. So try to be the aggressor in that like kind of stagnated fight like that. And good nade on to be able to get that pick.
I always try and use it on corners like that to like.
Yeah, most of the time you might not. Just make sure not to use it too early. Like you want to use it like in the mid fight when like the Monkey already dives and the supports are trying to help him. You can like use it in between them, stop them from getting in. I hope that Parker is taking a look at these at the VODs that I'm doing, because like throughout this fight there isn't a second that he's not being forced to rotate. Like watch, so he's up here taking damage. I mean that's fine. Now he wants to back up. Now you want to go back to high ground. He's still playing over here, and as soon as the fight starts, does in a second when they decide to go in. He sees him. Okay, get on him. Now I'm being forced to rotate. I'm up here. He could have just stayed up there. But now he's rotating himself. And now the monkey sees. He's still being forced to rotate. And he's just kind of shooting the monkey the whole time rather than like playing at an angle to where he doesn't have to deal with the monkey. He can like shoot their sports. So throughout that whole fight, he's just trying to run from the monkey. And now they're coming in. I mean, you have a good ult here, but they're being forced to push back so far because there's not really a lot of damage being done other than you on their backline. It's just being done on the monkey. So he's making space for them, and they're coming in, and he's not dealing with that. So it's just like you have to win with an ult here rather than maybe getting a pick. They rush. But you do a good job with the ult. So instead, like Parker's doing what the Reaper should be doing. Where Reaper should be like playing with the backline, like right like in between Ramatra and the backline, to where he can kind of like, it's kind of like what a diva did in like old Rush, where like no matter what she could push back. Like if someone was behind, she could peel, and if someone was pushing up on Ramatra, she could come in and go up on them. Like it's kind of like what diva does, where she has to like play both areas, and then Sojourn can just play up here and just kind of like pot shot on them. But instead, he's playing with the supports and like not giving him that opportunity to like get value off of not be taking a lot of damage. But you had a good fight where you kind of noticed that they were pushing in too far. You ulted and they all just died out of it. Ramatra's ult is so good. Killing the Reaper. That was a good rush relatively to where they were, Murph. So.
Okay.
Also, one thing I saw for you, Murph, just I know this is an edge one, just one thing. If you don't always have to mirror the rush if you can kite out of it. So like they rushed, you guys were playing offense and the cart was like right here and you guys were like right here. They rushed like this and you instinctively just rushed back. Like instead of doing that, you can just speed out and just waste it. They get no value out of it. You can go with your own. So like make sure that you don't have to don't put that in your muscle memory where you automatically
It is in my muscle memory because NZAP did say if they rush, always counter rush.
I mean, you don't have to if you can kite out.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, in a regular scenario where you're playing in just like open space, yeah, do it. But when you're like at that choke like that, most of the time they're not going to do that when you're at that choke anyways. So I mean, it's going to be like that where you're going to have to counter rush. But if you have the ability to speed out, do it.
Do that. Gotcha. Well, the other rationale that was because of just the flow, the timing of it. Like, you know, just if they're going to use rush, use your rush. So when they have, we're always going to have rush at the same time.
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah. Okay, I like that backup from you. Definitely too early on the ult. They had cooldowns to deal with it. I mean, beat is like something you can't really like prepare for, but like speed and like Hanzo push away, or like they could have all easily just ran away from it. So make sure you want to use it like, if you're gonna use it at the beginning of the fight, make sure you like are going really aggressive first and then using it. Like use your Nemesis form aggressively first, because that what happens if you use all like maybe 6 seconds of it, then you ult. When your ult is over, if it's still happening, the fight, you'll have Nemesis back again. So you have like 20 seconds at least.
Seconds of
Yeah.
punching.
Yeah. But you kind of get overzealous because you're like, oh shit, I have to get a value out of this ultimate. So you push in too far and die.
10 seconds.
No, I like that.
Be careful with your cooldown management. You see how you shielded and then used nade and then used Nemesis form when you still had your shield up?
Yeah.
Like just be careful about that when you're in like regular fights and stuff. I mean, I know this is like a I'm just like waiting. Be careful about that.
Yeah, I thought the like Sojourn was gonna try to come around the
If
field,
you wait
but-
out most of your shield, but when you use Nemesis form, when you get out of Nemesis form, there'll only be 3 seconds left on your shield. And when shield ends, there'll only be 2 seconds left on your Nemesis form.
Good to use your shield like that to try and flip the human half.
What?
Like back there, I shielded like right behind the Hanzo to try and force him to back out.
Right behind the Hanzo?
Yeah, right behind him. I think if you go back.
I mean, he might not even know that it's there, so he might not even back out. I would say just use it in front of him, because what that's gonna do is it's gonna cut off his damage, and it's also gonna cut off the healing for Orisa.
Okay.
So just use it like that, kind of cut him off. I mean, either way, you either go into him and don't take damage because of the shields, or you kill the Orisa. Instead of maybe him getting a headshot or something, which he just did.
Oh wait, I could.
But, I mean, they use 3 ults there. I mean, 2 ults. You don't invest any of them. So. That's kind of an even, like, considering where the cart was when that fight started, like, that's a one fight for you guys.
Healing boot.
I would shield that. Just to force them to either rotate or block the damage. Oh, how'd you kill her? Looked like you were like in front of her.
Oh wait, I probably was. You know.
Yeah, how'd that? Was it like? Is it like? I want to see how he died. Like, how did he die?
Probably starts from my chest, and she was like even to me. It's like, you know.
Oh, you're like inside her, yeah.
Oh, I got pulled in or something. But I got pulled in by her ult, and whenever I punched,
Oh, yeah, because you got pulled in, so you were right in front of her. It's kind of unlucky, Murph. I was seeing how you died. Maybe if you were like, instead of. So let's see like how you like hold this angle. Here, let me see, just to help you. Yeah, okay. So instead of doing that, where you're kind of like holding like that,
King here.
yeah, like do like this. Do like this. Go like.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna make it so much harder. You're still gonna get kunai damage, and it's gonna make it so much harder for him to kill you. But instead, you kind of like push out like this,
I go
see how
out.
like that,
Yeah.
and he just one shots you.
Okay.
And I mean, it's still RNG, so he might never kill you. But I mean, it just helps you a little bit.
Well, that's a good practice anyway to jiggle peek. I don't do that enough.
Yeah, like natural cover is so good in this game because there's less shields, less frontal help from the tank. So.
True. Okay.
But that was a good fight from you. I liked how you got Edge. I liked how you got aggressive with the ultimate and just kind of like you might die here though.
Oh, I can chase her down.
He just does that. I don't know why. I don't know what he was thinking. Yeah. Ooh, too far. You don't want to give up your life for it. I would leave now. Just get with your team. Yeah, because you have to. You see how you're forced to use your cooldown like that before the fight starts, because you're kind of like pushed up like that. If you backed up, you probably like that's a 12-second cooldown. Like, that's a long time, especially when there's only 23 seconds left. They're trying to get to point. It's a long time of not having that cooldown.
Yeah. I don't even know if they. Oh yeah.
So like let's see what happens when like it's on 6 seconds. Like you could be using it right now. I mean, Battle's over anyways. You win. So like I'm gonna point this out because it might sound a little bit harsh, but it's not. It's just completely true. You guys win the fights where the DPS don't feed. Like that's most of the fights where the DPS don't like not listen to the rotation and play a different angle, like or just like completely go out of position and get killed first. Like you guys win out most of those fights. All right. What's the other one? I need the other code.
What do you want to do next? Let me look at my map list.
I posted them in replay codes if you want them.
I don't have access to that channel.
Oh,
I'm gonna do Esperanza as well, because that's whenever we noticed the Sojourn was bad.
Okay.
oh, okay. Are you sending those to him?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool.
Wait, before we start, I'm gonna go make a quick drink.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome
Uh,
to Esperanza.
Fox said he's going to watch the VOD
Objective
starting with the
unlocked
last
in
one.
30 seconds.
Okay. Good.
Tomorrow. He has a one-on-one with Falco tomorrow. They've been rescheduling for the last week or so.
Okay. Good.
And he wants to watch the VOD before he does his one-on-one.
Okay.
But I did mention it several times tonight
Mention
and
what?
ask people just to make sure they watch the VODs.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
said a lot about. There's a lot.
I mean, if just one
specifically
or two
about
people look
rotation.
at it, then it's not helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but the DPS really had to take a look at it,
Mhm.
positioning wise.
Mhm.
So
Do you have another trial tonight? Are you recording? First, I should ask.
yeah,
Okay.
a trial for like my team.
Your
No,
DPS.
no, tomorrow. We don't scrim on Wednesdays.
Oh. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I played with my regular collegiate team tonight. But we have a trial tomorrow. It's someone who played in the like that showcase thing tonight.
Mhm.
The sad for him is that like he didn't make it in time to like be able to pick DPS, so they had him play support.
Oh.
But it's someone named, you might have heard him before because I've heard of the name, Shadow Fear.
Hmm.
PH33R.
Mm.
And I've been trying to like get in contact with that Null person, but like I mean they're still looking for a team, and I've like messaged them twice asking if they want to trial. So I don't know like what their problem
Null?
is. Yeah, Null. They were playing tonight, and they're really good. Like when someone said when he said he was looking for a team, everyone said vote for Null or something like that. So like I mean, he's not responding to my looking for team thing.
That's
So
funny because Brian sent a screenshot of him for something, maybe DPS. I don't remember, but he then a couple of days later just said he's being ghosted. So
by Null.
don't even. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what his problem is.
So he said, forget about it.
I mean, I think he's like one of those people that's just like waiting for the top team to like message him. So hopefully the guy tomorrow night is,
Yeah.
I mean, like we've had trials, just nobody like wants to play for us. And I mean, like we like other than last night, which I made the mistake of like not scrimming a trank team, and they had like 2 GMs and 3 golds, and we kind of like it wasn't like super hard, but it like wasn't like we lost maps. We probably lost more maps than we won. Like usually when we scrim trank teams, we kind of like roll them. So I mean, I don't know. Like we scrimmed some Discord teams last week with trials, and we pretty much rolled them. And I said like, let me know if you want in, like the spots available for you. And they're like, all right, I'll let you know. And they just never let me know. So I think we've had like 3 trials ghost me, and then like one person in the process right now of possibly ghosting me. You never know. So it's just kind of annoying.
DPS is really, really hard.
Okay,
So hard, weirdly hard right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was gonna recommend one person to you, but I think there's Smurf.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I actually found out something to use the T that there's like a bunch of Smurfs in Transcendence tier, like a bunch of them,
Ooh,
like multiple
damn.
full teams are Smurfs, like throughout every season, and they never get caught. So I don't
How
know.
did you
I've heard
figure
that from
that out?
somebody. Somebody who knows people in the Transcendence tier. Like I was talking to him about, like he asked to trial for the team, and he's like, what's the SR? I'm like, oh, it's G. He's like, oh, I'm G. I'm like, oh, you can't play for us. He's like, oh shit, what you guys in Trank? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, there's like a bunch of people in that like are smurfing in those tiers. And I'm like, which one? Hoping they didn't say Discord, and he said Transcendence. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh shit.
It's
Sucks.
kind of known.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
multiple teams
unfortunate.
get banned every season, so
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just hard focusing Soj here, like
Objective unlocked.
hard. Well, the creep first here. No, we got her.
fight. So like when you're playing against an Orisa, it's hard for her to like cover ground quickly to deal with you if she's separated from her team. So like watch what happens here. You see how like the Sojourn and Mercy separate themselves from the team, which is like what they should be doing.
Yeah.
You can easily just dive them right now. I mean, like you're not in that area, but like you could dive these guys right now. Like you could easily just jump right past the Orisa and go on these guys and probably kill the McCree if you guys are going together. So like you don't have to wait so long to deal with that because Orisa, like I said before, and maybe a previous VOD, that Orisa's job is to prolong the fight for her DPS to get kills. So if you're taking long rotates while taking poke damage, that's helping her. That's helping their team. So like if you notice that the McCree is right here and the Orisa's right here, this is a diveable target already. Just go right in on him. Or you can like notice over
Yeah.
here that he's over there and maybe you like hook around and go over this way. But what happens is you guys are taking this like long up here. And everyone's taking poke damage. And the fight hasn't started. The fight like didn't start yet, and you're going in with like half health on both your DPS, your dive DPS. I mean your dive characters. So I mean you get a kill on somebody, but you give Orisa enough time to cover ground on you, and everyone gets killed basically because everyone's low. It's just too much poke.
Deine Pflicht ist nicht getan.
You both had a chance to get out there. I think they kind of ignored you. Probably could have gone this way, maybe. Okay, let's see. Fight number 2.
Hey. Hello.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Disrupting.
Also, don't be afraid to like peek. Don't be afraid. Just like do some peeks and see where they're playing. Then you don't have to. Then you have less time. Then you have more time to decide where you want to dive. So like, if you're going like this, you're not taking as much poke damage. You're still taking a little bit of damage, but not as much. And you can see, oh, Sojourn's up here. There's Orisa. There's Kiriko. I can see the Mercy beam on the left. So I don't see Kree. So maybe he's on high ground, or maybe he's like back there. So either way, this Sojourn looks pretty diveable. And then instead of like taking all this poke damage from the Sojourn and stuff. There's nothing he can do to help you. There's nothing that he can do to help them. Like you're going up here.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And also, this is a good dive from you. The team needs to be ready to go in. I mean, it doesn't look like Fox and Boop are ready to go in. So they're kind of late. Like he should dash the same time you're jumping. Because you probably could have killed someone there instead of like this happening.
So you have to WP them down.
Like good dive on the Kiriko.
Jesus, get out of jail free
Yeah,
card.
nice. Good dives. Good dives, yeah. So like something you can do if you're not doing it already is be like, are you ready to dive? Are you ready to dive? And then someone can say yes, like Fox can say yes. And you say diving in 3, 2, 1, and then you jump up. And most like if he's like playing with the timing, you tell him to play with the timing, he'll dive the same time as you.
Ones, or at least some notion that I'm diving.
Yeah, just make sure like if you like at the beginning of a fight like that, you can take another second to be like, are we ready to dive? Because like most of the time you're not turning around to see where your team is, so maybe like someone's coming out of spawn or someone's late or something like that. So it just helps with like synergy.
I would say Edge is pretty good with that, like,
Yeah.
and moves pretty quick on it.
This ends now.
Yeah, they use two ults. You guys use two, so you kind of just lose that ult fight. One thing is that let me just see if this actually applies to this.
Disrupting. This ends
Okay, yeah.
now.
When you're diving Mercy, make sure that you're not getting fooled by her movement. So like
Team is close.
you didn't have to do this. You could have easily just kind of waited for her to drop. Because what's going to do is you can do damage to her like you're doing right now. And then when she Guardian Angels away, now you can jump on her. Now you can turn around and look for her. Right? Instead of just jumping in like that. Because most of the time, it's a 2-second cooldown. She's going to get away from you unless you like approach her without jumping. You put some good pressure on the Kiriko, but the fight's over anyways.
We need to rescue the robot. That's better.
Hey. Hello. Hey. Good to see you.
Don't let them move the barricade.
Yeah, you gotta. If you're half health like that, you just gotta kind of like wait on the side and get health.
I will have Olympus at any cost.
Because what looked like what happening was there is that you were deciding whether or not to dive while taking poke damage like that. Like if you're gonna decide whether or not to dive, at least like take a second to go to the side and think about it first. Because if you're not doing it in a split second where you're deciding, then you're gonna take a lot of poke damage like that. Okay, ram switch though.
Hello.
Nice. Let's look at where you are relative to where the team and the enemy team is, so we see like your death here. Yeah, see how you do that? And I mean, you are pretty tanky with this, but you can still absolutely die. Like this happens to me all the time. Like I go in too far and die. So most of the time, I'd probably have you just stand here and pummel the Orissas and like have like Sojourn deal with the Kree from that range. Because you can just stall on point.
Yeah.
And Boop needs to, I don't know, Boop needs to work on her like positioning as well. She was forced to get up here, but like I'd probably just like try to leave instead of just standing here. At least, I mean, she's trying to keep herself alive, but I mean, Lucio is super susceptible to like quick burst and quick stuns, like if he's in open like this, so he gets like pushed away by Orisa. So like he either has to be like constantly wall riding on the wall like this to stop that from happening, or needs to play back like up here maybe or something and just still get the healing aura.
Yeah.
I mean, the fight's over no matter what. I mean, you know what happened? We pushed him too far. We died. Okay, obviously we take this because there's 6 minutes left.
Yeah, I think this goes to OT.
Good kill. On that guy pushing up too far. Ooh, nice on the terrible res too. Good aggression.
These guys were all.
Good aggression, yeah. Good aggression.
Yeah.
You see how Boop got aggressive? Like Boop, you got aggressive there instead of like just like subsisting in the back line, maybe getting killed. Like if like you could do that as well with the Ramatra. Like as long as you're moving like that, like it's hard. Like make it so hard for them to hit you because you have that movement. You have that like ability to make it hard for them to hit you. So if you went in like that with him, like that's a better choice than like kind of like standing here just like on speed or on heal.
Hello.
But you got some really good aggression in that fight, so I like that. But you made sure not to push in too far. I mean, you had a pretty good gauge on where you had to go.
Not so fast.
So, in most cases, the tank needs to push the cart. It's different in payload, where it's like you're gonna have to take different angles to kind of like fight the escort and hybrid maps are different because there's a lot more high ground. Like push doesn't really have a lot of high ground. Like this is easily accessible like this. Like if you play, because the fight is always going to play where the cart is, like in a push. It's never gonna play like up here unless only at the beginning of the fight. That's the only way that only the beginning of the map is the only way that this would play right here. So, just kind of you have to be the cart guy. Because then the fight's going to come to you there, and you can kind of, like, be that, you know, that wall of damage. Instead of having to push around like this after the fact.
This
You are a cart bot in
ends
this
now.
one. Good pick. What the fuck is this guy on? Good beat.
Cast? Yeah.
That you don't know who this is, but that was a JDX ultimate. If you know, you know.
Kind of rush the ball down. They play like bad.
But good fight. You guys did a really good job at like noticing that the Orisa was like that you guys couldn't push them up here, and the Orisa was too far up. So you kind of like played this angle right here, and this is like perfect. Everyone was playing right here, while you're just focusing down the Orisa because you couldn't really get to them right now. So that was really good. That was really, really smart.
I think that was kind of like when I was questioning why we were focusing the Orisa. All I could think about was
you
that.
can focus the Orisa if she's too far up.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't allow her to get so much value. Like you can pressure her to try to kill her or have her die or something.
Right.
You're falling apart.
Also, one thing that. Like I know I said this before, and I know it's like
This
pretty
ends
common, but just to
now.
like reinforce it, the cart moves the same speed no matter how many people are on it. So, like if you guys want to start by taking this while someone pushes the cart, this might be an easier fight than giving them all this space. You never know.
Oh yeah, because Edge, where you were kind of saying.
Like at that point, you have your Lucio push the cart and have everyone go
Right.
up.
Okay. That's a good point.
But yeah. And the problem is you guys used 3 ults and lost. And that stinks in push. You want to use the least amount of, especially if you're down, you want to use the least amount of ults to win the fight.
So was that a bad? I can't remember if I used Rush first
You did, yeah.
or if,
Okay. If you used Rush first, or if she used Rush first, we can check real quick.
it's the counter Rush.
I mean,
Yeah,
right here you can't really.
conversationally.
I mean, right here if you're playing by the cart, you can't really leave. So I mean, this would be a good
Right.
counter rush.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Oh, I see. Right. Can't kite it.
This ends now.
Okay. This
Oh,
happens.
she did.
Okay, so you used it first. So they used 2. I don't know, because I feel like you could have done 2 things. I mean, you could have you could use your own ults to try to fight this, or you might have been able, because they used it back here, like they used the Sojourn ult first, like way back here. You had your shield up. You might have been able to like speed out through here, maybe. I mean, it's you never know. I just kind of like lose the value off of that. But Yeah, so you kind of use it, Murph, where like you're using it to counter it. This is a fine angle, but like no one in your team is positioned in the correct area to like use it. See how you rush and like no one's there, like no one can deal with. No one can use that. So like if you use it mid fight like that, you need to make sure that you're playing. Also, you should probably be playing. You're also in a bad position. Like you should be playing like right here. Because then if you do, then you kind of rush this way, and now it's a good rush. You know what I mean? Instead of just doing it like this. Because this is a good rush right now because they're already in. So like like down here is pretty good. But use that. You don't get any value out of it. Use another ult like that. Make sure not to use that at the end of the fight. It's not really a fight. It's not really a fight clinching ultimate in most cases. If you're down, you want to use it aggressively when you're up.
Okay.
The Ramatra ultimate.
Oh.
Like the Ramatra ultimate, if you use it when you're down too, you need the support from your team, from your supports and stuff, to like get value off of it because you're just kind of playing the long game. So if you use it when you're low and you have no supports, you're probably gonna die before you kill anybody. What the fuck? So you had a let's look at Edge here.
Hey.
Yeah, that's what happened. You have to really be disciplined with Suzu, Murph. I mean there was no like he was over half health, you don't have to do that there.
He didn't need it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Because then Nerissa just comes in. And he's just like this, and he's just like, and then you kill the Sojourn, but he ults because he knows you don't have Suzu. Gets the kill. They're all low.
Right.
They're rezzing. Gonna get picked up one by one here. Because Boop died, maybe if you used her and she survived, you might have fixed it. Might be different.
No, they definitely were waiting for me to use my cooldown, and they just jumped on it.
So I mean, nothing really Edge could have done there to help. Kill on him. Going in, nice. Oh my god, bro.
Escorting the robot. Let's move.
The way they use it, I don't know.
Rez should take like 4 seconds, in my opinion.
I just don't like to.
Well, in my opinion, it should be removed. I think it's a stupid ability.
What?
Res.
Cleanse? Oh.
I think Res is the worst ability in the game, and there shouldn't be revives in a shooter game.
Who the hell are you?
I don't know. I just don't like the Kiriko TP because it feels like a get out of jail card. Like you can do it.
It's definitely on a low cooldown.
It should be like 8 seconds, and then like Hog gets his heal every 8 seconds, and it saves him all the time. Still.
Well, I mean, he has 600 health. Yeah. That's the difference. Nice. I like this call up here.
Enemy has the robot. Initiate search and rescue.
Get that call up there.
You should have joined me.
When you're looking at them like this, one thing is when you're looking at them like this from like here, don't be afraid. You can easily put your shield up right here, like your shield up, and force them to either like back up or go forward. I mean, they're probably gonna back up, so just get them off high ground with that. Like if you put your shield right here, they're probably just gonna drop.
Yeah.
This is restricted. Robot needs exfil. Let's stick with it.
There's a minute left, so at least the fight goes a little bit longer. I don't know if you win. Do you win? No.
We're close, but we don't.
30 seconds remaining.
Look at how we lose this. Dude, this was definitely.
Nice.
Horrific.
Punish on him.
That was a bad game too.
Started. Let's go. Almost there. Just stay on target.
Take everything from them.
Someone died.
It's go time.
Oh, the Aerosol.
See if I have it. Yeah, everyone has a lot of ults.
Ends now.
I will speak to you in the night. Put them in the crowd.
Behind you.
They have a shit ton of ultimates. Let's push for you.
I hit that one.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are pretty even with them. I mean, that was pretty close. So, but I mean, that was like looking at least like both of your gameplay. That was much better from if it was yesterday, whatever last stream was. So,
Okay, good.
much better. But the DPS need to stop feeding. So we